So, guys, I've been living in Cameroon for the past 5 months, July all the way till now. And as most of you know, I am preparing for the Olympic Games in Paris, July 2024. So, yeah, I'm a discus thrower. If you didn't know, well, now you know. Yeah, normally I'm based in the US, but there is one huge reason I wanted to be in Cameroon this year. And believe it or not, it's the food. Yep, the food. So not only is it 100% organic and right from the source, but I believe that this food paired with my genetics will help my body to function in its truest form. Yes, it's a hypothesis, but I do think that it makes sense. Cameroonians are known to be some of the most natural beasts known to this world. So yeah, this is my experiment, and so far it has worked out great. Here are some of my favorite dishes. This is ndole, which I eat with basically so many starch variations, from potatoes, patat, which is sweet potato, plantain, cassava, fermented cassava variations, from manioc to miondo. And yeah, here's another food. This is called arrow, which is basically a very local food here. You can find this anywhere, so it's very common in my diet. It gives me a feeling of fullness, even though you don't have to eat that much to feel full. So that's one reason I actually appreciate it. There's other food choices here. Don't get me wrong. I went out for pizza with my friend. In the beginning, you saw me eating some Chinese food at a Chinese restaurant. And yeah, there's so many other things you can eat here in Cameroon. But yeah, I stick to the local foods most of the time. Here is the neighborhood cat. Somebody feeds this cat. That's why this cat is always around. And here's the gym I go to. This is one of the guys that works at the gym. He is so great to be around. This is literally his energy all the time. Like, I'll be working out, doing what I'm doing, and he'll be there dancing and dancing and dancing, which is great energy to have around in a gym environment. So right here, this is one of the notes, the dollar bills. So this is 5,000 francs. 5,000 francs in Cameroon basically gets me around for the entire day. So 5,000 francs is $8.25 just about, which in the US can probably buy you maybe a meal, well, an entree, a meal with no side, no drink, just the entree. But here, this is my budget for the entire day. So a standard plate of local food, like what you saw earlier, was about 1,000 to 2,000 francs. And then the rest, I normally use it on transportation. Normally for me, I get around by taxi or by bike. If you want to get to somewhere fast, you probably take a bike. If you want to get to somewhere probably, with a more guarantee of getting there safely, although it will take a little bit more time, then yeah, we take a taxi. In my free time, I like to skate. Skating is one of my passions since COVID. So here there's a small skating community that's mainly for inline skaters, but we normally gather at a stadium parking lot and just roll together. People find my style, though, very fascinating, which is really nice to, just see people's reaction when they see me on 8 wheels instead of inlines. So yeah, I just appreciate that. But there's so much more to do here in this specific parking lot where we skate. So I've seen people play 3-on-3 basketball with literally no hoop, but a line drawn 10 feet up on the post. Other people go walking here. They do group dancing, Zumba, stuff like that. Skaters, of course, and people that just care about their fitness and want to stay active. It's also like a source of entertainment, to be honest. Like, on this day, I came and I witnessed a football magician. I call him a football magician because I've literally never seen anybody do something like this with a football. Another thing I like to do in my spare time is attend the sporting events. So this was one day I went to a rugby match. And if you've ever been to a sporting event in Cameroon, you've definitely seen this entertaining journalist with his wooden camera doing interviews on people. So I love when he's around, especially just his personality and the energy that he brings to the stadium is like none other. He's also been to track meets as well, so I've seen him, and actually I've done an interview with him in person. So I was literally standing behind these two journalists who were doing coverage in English and in French, which is really nice to see, especially in Yaoundé, where French is the local language. Yeah, it was interesting that rugby had this many people. This was actually my first rugby game ever. Yep. And of course, there is football. So there are local stadiums basically just around town in so many different neighborhoods. So I went on a Sunday with my aunt. We witnessed a veteran soccer match, football match, which is basically where older folks gather and play football. Another thing I like to do in my spare time, which is really good for proprioception, just general skills as an athlete, is juggling. Thankfully, I have a friend who also is an athlete and knows how to juggle, so we were able to join our skills and have like an active recovery day together. This was actually really fun. We had a nice view, nice breeze, and just enjoyed our time together. So I left my quarter where I stay in town and took a bike. On this particular day, it was so, I don't know why, but the traffic was so dense. I guess at this time of the day, everybody was leaving school, leaving work, so it was extremely hard to find a taxi. So this is not the best way of traveling, like this distance. I'm talking about maybe 30 minutes on a bike, but I had to do it. I had to be at the airport to meet up with some people at a particular time. So yeah, I had to take the bike from in town where I stay all the way to the airport. But I do appreciate the view. Very incredible. I appreciate, just the breeze. My taxi driver and I made way with our English and French. So he got me to where I needed to be safely. Near the end of my trip, I was finally able to travel to my actual homeland where my people are from. Yes, we're from the English side. My family is from Bamenda, Cameroon. So yeah, I was able to go there. Of course, it hasn't been the safest, but I'm with family. We have our driver. We have the protection of Jesus Christ himself. So we just prayed and went in. So we had an occasion, a family occasion. And yeah, we're going to Bamenda to celebrate. So these are just some of the roads, the views. The road is actually really good on the way there, just until you like get into or cross the border from, I guess, other part of Cameroon into Bamenda, where things have been a little bit neglected and just abandoned, I would say. But yeah, this is the view. We are at, I think this is called Upstation. Yeah, this is Upstation right here. So many beautiful brand new houses, new infrastructure. The place is really, really, really nice. And it's really sad to, know what's going on, or that people had to evacuate some of these areas. But it's really nice. This is only my second time in Bamenda, so I really appreciate it.
That's not sure that's northwest entry Bamenda. So
it's also called refer to Bamenda as such, but that was on the road signs. I actually did not see a single sign that said Bamenda at all. And this is better known as the grassland area of Cameroon. As you can tell, the mountaintops all the way to the top have grass. Like you can even see some goats, some animals grazing at the top of mountains. We got into town, past some shops, until we finally got to the neighborhood where my uncle stays. So he's celebrating his retirement. He and his wife are celebrating their 30 years of marriage anniversary, and just a celebration of life. It's always a beautiful thing when the family can come together and celebrate something, you know. It's unfortunate that most of the time that personally, you know, my family, when we gather and actually get so many people to come from across the globe, it has to do with death. So this was really nice to be able to celebrate life in abundance, you know. So I thank God for that. Yeah, I just wanted to be seen on my camera. I'm always behind the camera, and I just wanted to be seen on my camera. So I asked my cousin to film me as I was just walking. Just walking, that's all I'm doing. Enjoying my time, breathing this fresh air, rooting myself on the ground where my bloodline derives from. Just a beautiful thing. So we got back home, and of course, like I said, we have a party to prepare for, a celebration to prepare for. So my cousins and I are here in the living room making goodie bags. We have boiled eggs, puff puff, ching ching, fried fish, fried chicken. We're just packaging everything so that we can give our guests a gift. You know, they say many hands do light work. So 12 hands helping out on this job. So we did it, and we were still able to relax just in time to watch the Francis Ngannou versus Fury fight. Oh, I was so looking forward to this fight. This is actually my first boxing match I've ever watched, and Francis Ngannou did not disappoint. So we finally made it to the party, and yes, the party starts at the church. We're celebrating life at the church. Here you see just people coming to greet the immediate family and the celebrants themselves, and bring gifts and just rejoice with one another. I think that's always really special when the community comes out and shows their support, you know. So this is one of the more traditional parts. I thought this was very beautiful. I've actually never been around to experience something like this. So yeah, we do the traditional drumming and singing, just rejoicing, giving thanks, giving praise for everything that God has done in our lives, giving us the chance to witness such a beautiful union. Like I said, my uncle's retirement. Oh, and also my auntie's birthday. So this was just a great celebration all together. But as you can see, we're making our way to the middle of the aisle of the church. So the people that have gifts, like I'm talking about gifts, like some people brought plantains, some people brought monetary gifts, some people brought like just treasures, anything that they can give to just celebrate. We all walked together as a family, met them in the middle, and received the gift and walked with them back to the front. That's how we received the gifts as a family. We ended up having a great time, and I had to make my way back to Yaoundé. So I got back home, back to my normal routine, and on my way back from my morning session in the gym, this crazy tragedy happened. I'm not really sure. I wasn't there at the scene, but it seemed like it had just happened whenever I was walking by. So it looks like an electricity post fell on top of two cars. But as you can see, it fell on both cars in such a way that it wouldn't have hurt the people that are inside of the car. Like, it's really bad timing, but what better timing, you know? It could have been so much worse, and I'm glad it wasn't as bad. And yep, just like that, back to the regular routine. This is the stadium that I normally train in. So for the next 3 days, 4 days until I had another break day, I was here doing my thing. It's really nice to train with the youth, with the kids that are starting in track and field as well, you know, because I mean, I used to be one of those kids, not necessarily here, but it's always good to see somebody and be around somebody that's bigger than you, somebody that kind of does things better than you, somebody that you can look up to, somebody who you can learn from. So it's nice that things come around full circle and I could be that for the kids that are here. Not too long after, maybe I was able to train for about a week, and I got in a really big trouble with the administration of the stadium, which really upset me. But you know, I always make a way, even if I have no way, thankfully. But I was actually kicked out of the stadium, not because of my discus landing on the grass. After all, it doesn't affect the grass because it lands smoothly and it grazes on the grass as it should. But they did not want to see anybody walking on the grass because they want to keep the grass good for the football players. My question was, how am I supposed to pick up my disc if I cannot walk on the grass? It wasn't answered. So I just ended up having to leave. I tried to petition it. I tried to do everything I could, but I couldn't do much more. So I just ended up leaving. And now I practice pretty far away. This is a university campus area, which is about 30 to 40 minutes away from the city in general. First of all, the stadium is already like 20 minutes away from me. So now I have to pass the stadium and then head to this university where I'm training at. But it's a great area. It's actually very isolated. I have nobody, you know, trying to move me out of where I am. The only kind of bad thing for my discs is that I have to throw them on very, very hard clay or dirt instead of them landing on soft grass. But you know, things can be replaced. I'm grateful that I can still throw. So here I am drawing my circle. I'm using a string or elastic band to draw the circumference. Yep, I measured the radius and did a circle around it. I'm glad I focused in school, because that's one thing I can definitely do is draw a circle. So yeah, this is where I train now, off of a track surface. If I come at the right time, I'm on the field by myself. If I come too late in the evening, then this field also gets full with soccer players. So I have to, you know, be very responsible with my time, but I'm very grateful that I have a place to train and continue to progress in my technique and continue to get better. After all, I'm practicing and I'm training for bigger things ahead, so I can't let the small things in my way ever stop me. And that's about it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for keeping up with my journey. I'm going to be posting more content leading up to the Olympic Games, which I'm training for this coming 2024 season. Thank you all so much for your support. You can support me more by following my Instagram page, just keeping up with my Instagram. I accept gifts via Cash App. I'll put the information down below. I accept gifts via Zelle. Things get expensive, medical expenses, housing, food, transportation, things of that nature. And I want to have the least amount of stress as I lead into the Olympic Games. So I would appreciate anything that anybody would give as a gift. And again, thank you so much for watching. All right, I'll catch you in the next video.